Hello，欢迎来到赛后采访，我是主持人 Reirachu。首先恭喜 BYG 战队非常漂亮的拿下季后赛首场BO5的胜利。Hey guys, I'm Reirachu and welcome to the post-match winner interview. Today we've got BYG's jungler Husha. Can you introduce yourself, please? 那今天邀请到打野位的小恐龙来到采访席，首先跟大家打个招呼吧。
大家好，我是 BYG 打野，现在是肥恐龙。
So BYG did great during the tail end of playoffs, and did you guys expect to carry that momentum into 3-1ing J Team today? BYG 在例行赛的最后几周表现得非常好。那你们在今天赛前有没有想到，今天对上台北 J 战队的对决结果会是3-1吗？
是有想过今天会赢的。我觉得我们实力本来就不会输前段班的任何一队，只是我们最大的敌人是我们自己，我们会送头。那今天刚好大家都比较谨慎、比较稳，所以就很顺利的拿下来了。
So he said that actually everyone on the team did think that they had the ability to win J Team today. He says that he believes that the strength of BYG will not lose to any of the top teams in the PCS. And he said that their problem and their biggest enemy is actually themselves. He said that their problem is sometimes that the team tends to give up free kills here and there. And he thinks that today their performance, because everyone wanted to win and everyone played in a very stable fashion, which is how they were able to smoothly get today's victory. So my next question, talking about the BYG Bankai at the end of regular season, is how did the team manage to put everything together and perform so well? Was it some type of changes that you guys made during training, maybe team composition? Was it the patch change, or what reason can you tell us? 那想问就是 BYG 是怎么找到最近这么好的状态呢？是不是在训练或者说阵容上做了一些调整，还是说版本的改变，或者其他某种原因？
在上周我们3连胜嘛，然后我们就对自己的信心还增加蛮多的。然后我们最近团练，其实我们团练其实蛮送的，然后都一直被教练骂。然后今天比赛就是比较谨慎，就是有改掉送头的坏习惯。
So he said that the fact that they got 3 consecutive wins at the end of the regular season really gave them a confidence boost coming into the playoffs. He said that actually, to be honest, their scrim performance lately has not been the best. It has not been great. They've actually kind of been feeding during their scrims. And because of that, their coach has actually been scolding them and asking them to get it together and just play properly. So he thinks that that was also part of the reason why when they came into today's series, they played it more serious and more stable. So I want to ask next about the consecutive Wukong as well as Vi picks that we saw today, because you picked Wukong twice and then you picked Vi twice. So is this something that you or the team have been practicing for playoffs? And what are your thoughts on Wukong and Vi right now, and why your team prioritized it in the pick ban today? 那接下来想问的就是今天连续2次拿下了悟空跟飞埃这2只英雄，是你个人在季后赛特地练习的2只英雄吗？能不能分享一下就你对这2只英雄的看法，以及为什么顺位比较高的原因？
首先这2只悟空是我的拿手脚，然后飞埃是我最近季后赛才练的。这2只的优点就是他们前面碰撞就很强了，所以打物件什么的也都蛮轻松的。然后打到后期，他们团战那个大绝也很猛，所以在现在的版本是比较好的选择。
So he said that as for Wukong, Wukong is one of his own personal champions that he's personally very good at. Vi, on the other hand, is a champion that he's actually just been practicing a lot for the playoffs. He thinks that both of these champions, the reason why they're so high prior right now is that they're very good early on in case like of meeting any other jungle champs in the jungle. They're able to fight and duel very well. And also come the late game during the team fights, they also have a very strong ult ultimates, and that's why he thinks that they're both very good to be picked nowadays. The next thing that I want to ask you is that going to a best of 5 format from the regular season best of 1 can be said to be a test of both your mental as well as flexibility in draft. So to a team like BYG, who has in the past been criticized for not having a very deep champion pool, how has the team tried to overcome this in preparation for the playoff long series? 那接下来想问的就是从例行赛BO1 换成季后赛的 BO5 可以说是蛮大的改变，然后对于 BYG 战队来说，曾经分析师也有提到，就是 BYG 个人的角色池也不太深，那 BO5 可以说是对于心态还有角色池的一种考验。那你们是做了什么样的准备，或者说打算在季后赛怎么应付这个弱点呢？
其实中路角色池的话，其实我觉得是没有问题的，因为现在的版本角它也都是有机会打，所以这边我们不会很担心。然后 BO1 到 BO5 的话，我个人是比较喜欢打 BO5，因为 BO1 很容易失误一波，然后就突然被以下克上，所以 BO5 就是比较有多容受率，所以我蛮喜欢打 BO5 的。
So he said that they're aware of the criticisms. He said as to criticisms about their mid laner Minji's champion pool, he as well as the team are not very worried about that. He thinks that especially on the current meta, he thinks that Minji is able to play a lot of the champions that are good on the current patch. He says about BO1 versus BO5, he said personally he prefers to play in best of 5, like the longer series, because he thinks in best of 1s, it's very easy to have the game be flipped on its head just by one fight or one mistake. He said that he prefers playing best of 5s because there's a greater room for error and there's just more room in case you make those mistakes for you to come back. So the next question I want to ask is that today the caster said that BYG won because it was a combination of your team doing well and then JT underperforming. So what are your thoughts on this? Also, can you rate J Team's performance today? 直播台也有提到，就是今天这场比赛是 BYG 表现得非常好，以及台北 J 战队没有发挥好实力。对于这个Husha 选手有什么感受呢？
我觉得他们今天状态是有点失常吧，他们蛮想在前面找到一些节奏的，但我们防得蛮好的，我觉得他们应该也是蛮慌的，他们应该也是想说，为什么我们突然这么乖都不送，应该跟他们，所以他们自乱阵脚了。
So he said that he thinks J Team probably got a bit anxious, and the J Team we're trying to be very proactive in the early game to try to look for opportunities early on. However, Husha thinks that BYG were able to defend against this very well and play very stable. He thinks that probably caught J Team off guard and on the back foot because he thinks J Team were probably thinking, "Why are they feeding today? What's going on in the early game?" And that probably made J Team even more anxious. So the last question that I have is, what expectations do you have about facing DCG next week, especially because you just beat them 2 weeks ago? 那最后一个问题就是对于下周跟 DCG 的对决有什么期待？毕竟 BYG 在例行赛只有1周才刚赢下他们。
打 DCG 的话，他们的中是核心嘛，他都会玩一些功能角，然后前期很容易会做到一些事情。那对战他们，我们只要注意我们前期防守就好，打得乖一点。那上一季季后赛 BO5 我们打输他们吧，但那一次是我们自己纪律性的问题，就是送掉了。那这一次我们会复仇的。
So he said that because the way DCG plays, the heart of the DCG team is Nesty over in the mid lane, because Nesty's playstyle is he likes to go for the roams on his champions and make stuff happen in the early and mid game. So the way that they're planning to play versus this is to just play stable early on, not feed, and just watch out for the Nesty roams. He says that in the spring playoffs, they lost to DCG, and this time around, they're going to get the revenge win. All right, thank you so much, Husha, for the interview, and of course, good luck for the rest of playoffs. 好的，那非常感谢Husha选手接受今天的赛后采访，希望 BYG 能在接下来的比赛中也展现出很好的表现。拜拜。
谢谢，拜拜。